Thank you for watching NMH at 1, where we highlight the news making headlines in the land of the brave, ranging from current affairs, community stories, sports, and economic news. In the news today, Parliament agrees to investigate tender awarding processes. Unhygienic Luderitz grocer fights closure. Father accused of raping his daughter. I am Aina Kweyo, and this is NMH at 1. Former Magistrate Walter Mosted's request not to be prosecuted and to be released on bail custody was set aside this morning by Judge Oben Sibea. Mosted claimed in his application that there are several irregularities in the Anti-Corruption Commission's investigation against him. Mosted, along with other defendants, is on trial on charges related to, among others, anti-corruption law, the immigration control law, money laundering, and extortion. Remember to engage with these stories on our social media platforms throughout the entire broadcast. Visual news coming up after the break.
Please, put on your safety belt, sir. It's very important for your life.
The seatbelt doesn't make me drive comfortably. Yes, that's better. Please wear your seatbelt. I did not.
In visual news today, Machinde Kachua, Paramount Chief of the Ovaherero Traditional Authority, has welcomed a report by United Nations rapporteurs who pointed out the direct involvement of the Nama and Ovaherero as a violation of international law. Let's have a look.
Through their legal representative, reached out to the international community and put our case to the United Nations special rapporteurs to question the lawfulness of the conduct of the Namibian and German governments in the interstate negotiations between the two governments on the matter of 1904 to 1908 genocide and the subsequent joint declaration that was announced in May 2021 by the two governments. What we are presenting to you below is the outcome of that effort. In short, I would want as a take-home message to you that the special rapporteurs in all aspects are agreeing to our position that we have stood for over the past 30 years. So on Monday this week, 24th April, several United Nations special rapporteurs published their joint communication to the German and Namibian governments on the violations of international law during the interstate negotiations on reparation for colonial crimes and by the joint declaration. They confirmed that participation rights of Herero and Nama pupils have been violated during the interstate negotiations. That has led to that joint declaration and urged the German government to grant reparations. So that is a clear recognition of the genocide committed, and there is an urge that they must pay reparations to the Hereros and others. So the special rapporteur's letter to the governments and the subsequent communications. I read. So on the 3rd of February this year, the special rapporteur, I'll list to you the various 7 rapporteurs that combined this communication to the two governments. And this communication was sent on the 3rd of February this year. So the special rapporteur on the promotion of truth, justice, reparation and guarantees on non-occurrence, Fabian.
Finland wants green hydrogen and Namibia wants trade. An update on this story follows in our newspaper review segment.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
In our newspaper review, now the Namibian Sun front page reports that a Finnish business delegation accompanying President Sauli Niinisto to Namibia is looking to invest in the country's mining and green hydrogen areas. This is according to Finland's ambassador to Namibia, Liina Valjinen, who said the business delegation is in the country to look at various opportunities, particularly in those two areas. For 2 days, they were meeting key ministries, and right now they have specific interest from companies in the area of green hydrogen, which President Hage Geingob flagship project. There is much interest from companies in Finland. Then there is mining. There are also Finnish companies who would like to help Namibia to move into a different kind of mining, sustainable mining, Viljanen said. Namibia, on the other hand, seeks trade opportunities with the Scandinavian country. On page 3, a 32-year-old self-proclaimed apostle appeared in Rundu Magistrate Court yesterday after he was arrested for allegedly defrauding a woman of close to 300,000 Namibian dollars through an investment scheme. The scheme, Trogans, has since ceased operation. Japhet Johannes appeared before Magistrate Sonia Sompofu on a count of fraud and an alternative count of theft by false pretense. He was denied bail and the matter was remanded to the 11th of May for him to acquire legal presentation. Johannes was released after a warrant was issued on the 19th of April in connection with fraud case opened against him in February by the victim, Renelde Kandumu, in relation to a cryptocurrency platform he created. According to court documents between 2020 and 2023, Johannes entrusted with 289,000 Namibian dollars of the victim's money, which she had hoped to invest. Republican informs that thousands of Ventucars daily commutes will drastically change with the construction of the Peter Nanyemba Drive. This renamed Monte Cristo Road stretches from the corner of the Van Eck Power Station in Windhoek's northern industrial area behind Katutura through most of the vast settlements up until the brand new Ongoza Valley development. The dedication ceremony of the expansion of the road to the value of 381 million was held on Friday, this past Friday. On page 3, police intelligence sources says that 5 suspected robbers who were shot dead in Okahanja on Tuesday evening have been long on the list of crimes and were already on the police radar of previous cases. Through observational work of crime intelligence, the police knew in advance that they planned to rob Okahanja JS slot gambling house, and a plan was set in motion to stop this plot. The seminar at Tourism Expo 2023 were well received. In particular, the contribution of the British High Commissioner, who assessed the Namibian tourism sector as an outsider, gave additional insight into an industry that is making serious efforts to involve Namibia youth on a larger scale in this sector. This is what Allgemeine Zeitung in today's edition is opening with. The AZ is attending on its page 2 main story about the many unanswered questions popping up with the subject of green hydrogen. How realistic are the expectations? And how does Namibia population think green hydrogen 2 and ammonia should be exported while the country imports up to 60% of the electricity it needs at a high cost? Will Namibia become self-sufficient in electricity? And will electricity costs be affordable for everyone? Will the population be able to share the promised prosperity? Or is it well known? As it is well known, does the profit disappear into the pockets of less? We'll be right back with more newspaper review. Stay with us. We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with entertainment. Everything was happening during this past weekend.
Yes.
Exciting news.
Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
As well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country. The newspaper review, the Namibian newspaper, reports that the National Assembly this week agreed to investigate the Central Procurement Board of Namibia's tender awarding processes, including the legal framework Popular Democratic Movement lawmaker Nico Smith tabled a motion in Parliament last month calling for an investigation into the procurement process. The aim of the investigation is to uncover any area that require improvement, notably the area of due diligence, to regain the public's confidence and trust in the procurement board. On page 3, a 44-year-old man yesterday appeared in Grootfontein Magistrate Court on charges of rape, incest, and assault by threatening involving a 13-year-old girl. According to the police report, the man, who is a resident of the Vambo location at Grootfontein, allegedly raped and impregnated his biological daughter. The offense is said to have occurred in December last year on different days, and the victim claims her father threatened to kill her if she reported the assault to her stepmother. On New Era, both of the Central Procurement Board of Namibia and the Namibia Training Authority approved the contract termination of the construction of the Okakarara Vocational Training Center, but the new NTA board chairperson Jerome Mutumba has other ideas. Mutumba, New Era understand, is adamant that the construction work resumes and the contractor Octagon Construction Pty Limited be given an extension and requested support to see the project through. The Mutumba-led board's wish is to see the project's completion in record time without exposing the NTA to additional costs. On page 3, OK Foods, one of the only 2 food retailers in Luderitz, is seeking the High Court's assistance to get its store up and running again after it was shut down by the municipality for failing a health inspection. The company is claiming the municipality has no right to suspend business operation of its store at the detriment of the clients and workers who face retrenchments. The store manager, Henely DeLang, said as the result of the closure by the municipality, the store owes creditors more than $6.5 million Namibian dollars. MarketWatch reports that in 2022, Bank Windhoek financed 350 properties to the value of 518 million Namibian dollars, averaging a value of 1.8 million per unit in the central region. These figures were shared by Bank Windhoek's head of specialist finance, Sarah Shivute, when she delivered her keynote address at the Bank Windhoek annual Central State Agent Award ceremony. This comprises a good mix of upper and lower ends of the markets, she said. Now, farmers are urged to take up more production loans. More on this in our economic story when we return.
Good evening and welcome to Sunset News.
Dutch Minister's list in a speech, rate and taxes, and how much.
After the break, we take a look at the sports.
We bring you
Economic indicators, tomorrow's weather and sports. I am Aina Raiza Kweyong. In the light of the looming drought in Namibia resulting from poor and delayed rainfall patterns, Agribank hereby reminds farmers of all kinds to take up its production loan facility. Agribank offers a production loan facility to farmers aimed at growing their agribusinesses to create wealth today for prosperity tomorrow. The facility also caters for day-to-day farm expenses such as the maintenance of boreholes, farm vehicles, and food rations for farm workers. Now we take a look at our economic indicators. $1 will cost you 80 Namibian dollars and 26 cents, while 1 British pound translates to 22 Namibian dollars and 77 cents. The stock prices on the Namibia stock remain unchanged. Overall index is up by 0.76%, while the local index remain unchanged. Gold is valued at $1,985 while Brent crude oil is valued at $78 and 77 cents per barrel. A Sudanese National Service doctor feels betrayed after being refused entry onto an evacuation flight to UK. Stay with us for more updates.
To another exciting episode of Unhygienic Luderitz. Hier is die weer en vertel ook vir julle waar die vis heel moontlik gaan byt.
A National Health Service doctor trapped in Sudan after visiting family for aid has urged the government to fly him back to the UK, saying he feels betrayed after being turned away from evacuation flights. Sudanese-born Dr. Babika is due back on a shift as a registrar at the Manchester Royal Infirmary on Tuesday. Despite having UK work permit, he cannot board an evacuation flight as they only accept UK passport holders. BBC Two's Newsnight has learned of that at least 24 NHS doctors in this position. The Foreign Office says it is prioritizing, British nationals, saying people in Dr. Babika's situation are allowed to enter the UK but must make their way there. Dr. Babika, who has worked at the Manchester Hospital for more than 4 years, told the news agency he feels betrayed. "I worked throughout COVID and I am so disappointed. It is certainly not how Dr. Babika expected his perilous journey to Wedi Saida Air Base to turn out. Speaking from a relative's home in neighboring Omdurman, he says he hoped to be helped to escape the conflict which has already claimed hundreds of lives. I had spoken to my MP and had emails advising me to go to the air base, he says. For almost 2 weeks, rival factions within the Sudanese military have fought for control, destroying large sections of the capital Khartoum in the process and killing hundreds of civilians. After initially telling people to make their way out of the country, the British Foreign Office eventually put on a series of rescue flights. But after 16 hours of queuing at the site of North Khartoum, Dr. Babika was told he could not board. They said, "We are sorry. This is the guidance from the Home Office, and the soldiers took me out," he said. When we return, we take a look at our international news. Turkish citizens based in Germany began voting on Thursday in Turkey's election at a record number of polling stations aimed at boosting their participation in a vote that is the biggest electoral threat to President Tayyip Erdogan in 2 decades in power. Germany is home to the world's largest Turkish diaspora, in which in the past has shown strong support for Erdogan, who's trailing in opinion polls, and his conservative aka party. Some 1.5 million Turkish citizens, they are eligible to vote before the presidential and parliamentary election on the 14th of May in Turkey. They have until May 9th to submit ballots. The German Foreign Ministry said in a statement it had approved 16 polling stations for all the cities where Turkey has consulate. In 2018, there were 13. Still, pro-government Turkish media criticized Germany for not allowing Turkey to double the number of polling stations. This is a political decision, I have to say quite frankly, and at this point it is important for the relations between the two countries to revert from the mistake they made, he said. Said the head of the Turkish Parliament Foreign Affairs Committee and AK member Akif Katagri Kalis. Some voters see the election as a potential turning point for how Turkey is governed after a deep cost of living crisis and collapse of the lira currency, as well as a test of a 2017 referendum that gave Erdogan near unchecked authority and significantly weakened parliament. Turkish voter Amu Saman urged fellow citizens in Germany to take part. We'll take a look at our local sports shortly.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouthwatering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
Namibia Media Holding, in close collaboration with its official partner DSTV and Windhoek Drop, has launched an exciting competition for one lucky rugby fan to win an all-expense-paid trip with one partner to attend the 2023 Rugby World Cup in France, attending to watch the Namibian team play in their opening match against Italy on the 9th of September. In south of France will be also included in the package. In our next story, the Capricorn Women's Eagle won their international T20 clash in the Quadrangular Capricorn tournament by 4 wickets against the United Arab Emirates at United yesterday. The Namibian Private School Organization Sports Week will see 16 private schools and an expected 3,500 participants competing in 3 sports codes, namely rugby, netball and hockey. So Walvis Bay is the place to be this weekend. We bring you international sports shortly. Tottenham fought back from a 2-0 down to hold Manchester United to a 2-2 draw on Thursday. Newcastle closed in on Champions League football with a 4-1 thrashing of Everton. Spurs were smashed 6-1 by Newcastle on Sunday to bring Christian Stellani's 4-game reign as interim manager to an end. Manchester City wrestled control of the Premier League title race from Arsenal with a 4-1 thumping in their top of table clash on Wednesday, to a thrill of manager Pep Guardiola, who said destiny was finally in his team's hands. Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda are set to bid to host the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. The 3 East African neighbors have submitted a joint expression of interest with CAF, the governing body that organizes the tournament. 3 other nationals have also registered interest: Algeria, Egypt and Botswana. However, it is unclear how much investment will be needed to allow either Botswana or the East African bid to succeed. Until next week, Botswana's bid was due to be a joint one, but Namibia dropped out at the last minute, citing financial concerns. We will return shortly with the highlights. Here are the highlights from today's broadcast. A National Health Service doctor trapped in Sudan after visiting family for aid has urged the government to fly him back to the UK, saying he feels betrayed after being turned away from evacuation flights. Turkish citizens based in Germany began voting on Thursday in Turkey's election at a record number of polling stations aimed at boosting their participation in a vote that is the biggest electoral threat to President Tayyip Erdogan in 2 decades of power. Namibia Media Holdings, in close collaboration with its official partners DSTV and Windhoek Draft, has launched an exciting competition for one lucky rugby fan to win an all-expense-paid trip with one partner to attend the 2023 Rugby World Cup in France. And with that, we've come to the end of today's broadcast. Remember to watch our show every day at 1 o'clock to spend your lunch hour with NMH at 1, catching up on the latest news in Namibia, Africa and the world, ranging from current affairs, economic news, sports and international headlines. From all of us here in studio, goodbye.